ghouls, goblins, grannies in horrifying eyeshadow, and ghastly guests. Welcome to the month of Horrotober on the podcast from the After-Movie Diner, where no creepy castle is left unbloodied, where no dark passageway is left unexplored, no night is left unbumped, and no spooky cabin full of voluptuous wenches is left standing. Every week we will be delving deep into the uncharted, foggy bowers of man's domain, pulling out, dusting off, and wiping free of sticky dribble a series of terrifying, pants-soiling, and downright frightful films from the horror genre. There'll be walking corpses, snowbound massacres, angry, deathly policemen, freakish fanged beasties, and Laurence Fishburne aplenty. Join us now, dear listener, if ye be strong of heart, commanding of bowel, and firm of buttock, for our dance with the morbid, squalid, maddening, and macabre is now about to begin. You have been warned.
All right. So far this evening, we've learned that Jim has a distinct problem with Tony Shalhoub.
It's not that I hate Tony Shalhoub. I just don't get why everybody thinks Tony Shalhoub is so great.
Okay, but when was the last time someone came up to you and went, you know what? Tony Shalhoub, that's where it's at, baby. Nobody ever said that.
I guess what it is a couple of times I've heard people talk about, or read people talking about in reviews. In reviews, people go, oh, and Tony Shalhoub, of course, is a reliable, comedy presence. And if it weren't for Tony Shalhoub, this movie would whatever. You go, why does Tony Shalhoub doesn't save anything? Tony Shalhoub can't even save Tony Shalhoub. I just don't get it.
In what movie did Tony Shalhoub ask to save himself?
I don't get why anybody would want to put Tony Shalhoub in anything except a car going to the airport.
All right, we've already discovered.
We've also discovered that you have no problem with walking around with a picture of your face that you drew on the t-shirt.
It's not. It's just a cartoon. It's not meant to be me.
It's you.
But it's not meant to be. It's just a cartoon.
It's just your idea of like the after movie diner listen, which is what that is a representation of, is a thin, grumpy-looking big-nosed person with a beard. In other words, what you're saying is only people like me could possibly want to listen to this, which, as we know, is not true. I'm sorry.
I still don't understand your Shalhoub.
I just don't see
that.
Shalhoub. I'm not saying I hate him.
That, and you seem to have an issue with the genius that is Roger Moore and Patrick McNee as Holmes and Watson in New York City in the 80s.
All I'm saying is, obviously, it's going to be terrible.
John Huston thought it wasn't terrible.
Who's John Huston again?
He's like one of the most famous directors of all.
Oh, that John Huston. He said he was in it.
Angelica's dad.
I know who John Huston, the director, is. I thought you were saying he was acting, because he's acted in stuff too.
Yeah.
Does he direct it?
No, he doesn't.
So is Steven Spielberg in it? Like, is that supposed to... Just because John Huston's in it, like John Hughes could be in it, doesn't make it a good movie.
What I'm saying...
It could be like, listen, John, listen.
Why did you say this had limited... It's got great... Whatever you want.
I turned over a page too fast because I missed stuff.
Oh yes, I'm sure you did. So what are you having then?
I'm going to have the red... It's just the red flame... Diner. We're in the Red Flame Diner. Should we start talking? Are we recording?
We are recording. Okay, I love this preamble.
Okay, fine.
I wanted to continue because of the out of left field. You were walking on the street and you were like, is it
don't
me,
understand.
or is Tony Shalhoub an enormous prick? And I don't understand how that came out. I don't know.
I'm probably being harsh. I'm sure you've heard me. I think he gets parts and sneaks into them by looking a bit funny and not offending anybody.
I like the idea that he sneaks into parts. How does he do that?
I bet Tony Shalhoub was everybody's fourth choice. No way was he first choice as Monk, even though Monk is terrible. I bet he was like. I bet even Roger Moore was higher up the list. No, Roger Moore as Monk, that would have been good. I would have watched.
How would Roger Moore have been Monk? The whole point of Roger Moore is that he has to maintain his calm and composure and his smarminess. He couldn't do that if he was meant to be a neurotic, ADD.
But that's the point.
Clean freak detective.
Hi, how are you? Hi, good, thanks.
Very good, sir, very good.
Can I get a coffee? Yeah, I'll get coffee.
I'm still looking.
Are you still looking?
Yeah,
oh, he's still looking. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll bring it.
I jumped into the order too soon. I'm sorry about that. he wasn't amused. I was hoping maybe some banter there, but
No, he hasn't got any time for banter.
he's got no time for banter. There may well be a sign on the door that says our staff have no time for banter.
Yeah, no time for banter.
Do not banter with the staff. Do not feed the animals, do not banter with the staff.
I don't know what you're
All right. Clearly Shalhoub put me in a bad mood.
I think Shalhoub's just done something very odd to you. I've never had anyone walk down the street and reference Tony Shalhoub, let alone in a negative connotation.
Thank you very much. I just don't get it.
I think I might have chicken tenders. Barbecue chicken.
I think for me it is juggling the food.
Stay tuned at the after movie dining while John Cross decides will he have the chicken tenders.
Why don't you tell the listeners what we just sat?
Oh, okay, fine. So here we are. We're sat in the Red Flame Diner and Coffee House.
It's on 44th Street.
44th Street, and initial impressions very good. It's quiet, which is good. The last place had really loud music, which you could hear when we were doing the recording. But this place is nice and quiet. Got lots of booths. It's really clean and bright and well lit. And it's got nice, proper, like old 70s, I'd say, like vinyl.
Jim was instantly negative when he opened up the menu.
Well, it's got like a, you know, like those cheap road.
It's got what every diner has, which is plastic menus with pictures.
Yeah, but I quite like the way that in a lot of New York diners, the plastic menus with pictures have a kind of nice, like, almost like homemade, like chunky
He
quality.
immediately sat down, opened the menu, and well, not much choice here.
The knives are quite cool. The cutlery's nice. It's got those. It's obviously a nice place, and there's looks like fresh flowers on fresh flowers on the table. It looks nice.
I'm going to have a bison burger.
And there is actually quite a lot of choice. So
a bison cheeseburger.
I'm afraid I was put in a bad mood by thinking about Tony Shalhoub.
And you even got negative with me. Your Shalhoub hatred eked over into the idea of Roger Moore slinking around New York.
No, it wasn't hatred for me. I was merely pointing out that Roger Moore could maybe have pulled off Watson. Maybe. No way is he going to pull off Holmes.
He's going to be amazing. He's going to be the best Holmes.
Roger Moore can only do one thing, right? And don't get me wrong, he does it very well. But you put Roger Moore in a film, right? And stuff happens to him, and then he reacts to it in a calm, unruffled Roger Moore-like. Yes. Because as I only realised, perhaps for the first time, fully realised, Roger Moore can only do one act. He can only act surprised and horny at the same time. Anything that happens at all, could be a dog running across him in front of the street, cat jumping out of a fridge, anything you like, it will make him surprised and also horny. But Sherlock Holmes, he's got to do things. Roger Moore doesn't do things. Things are done to Roger Moore.
What
does he do as James Bond? He walks into a city and things like people try and kill him.
Sherlock Holmes and the case of things being done to him.
You know what you want now?
I don't, but I'm going to have it anyway.
Okay. Can I get the red flame omelette? Can I get with fries, French fries, not
Okay.
not the other thing.
White sauce? Whole wheat?
Whole wheat, yes. That'd be great. Thank you.
Can I get the bison cheeseburger deluxe?
Okay. Medium?
A medium well, please. Can I get extra bacon with that, please?
Okay.
And
Thank you very much.
yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, my friend.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Anyway, moving off that, because I'm sure it will be very good. I just in a horrible car crashy way, but that's what you're going to watch it for.
It's Roger Moore.
You're not watching it for one of the all-time great Sherlock Holmes.
No, but you're missing the point. It's Roger Moore.
I think I get the point.
As Sherlock Holmes in 80s New York.
It will be very interesting.
Like with ridiculous, like made-for-TV-esque costumes with like enormously brown deerstalker and a ridiculous cloak.
So that's the. Do they like thaw him out? Like how does it work?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm presuming it's 80s New York only because it's Sherlock Holmes in New York. I mean, maybe it's Sherlock Holmes in New York in the 1800s. I don't know.
Wasn't there one where they like thawed out Jack the Ripper, and then they thawed out Sherlock Holmes to catch Jack the Ripper in like modern America?
Probably.
Did I dream that?
No, I think that's probably something that happened.
I wouldn't mind seeing that movie, because I bet that's bad. See if there's a double bill of people who thaw out Sherlock Holmes.
Movies in which
Sherlock Holmes again.
movies in which they thaw out famous literary characters.
In order to put them in the middle of like, wow, 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 New York.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, that's the
Okay,
diner.
so yeah, we're in the Red Flame Diner.
You talk because you're the host.
Oh, okay, yes. Hello, welcome to the After Movie Diner, and you're listening to us here in the Red Flame Diner, and we've just watched a movie that co-starred Laurence Fishburne and
Bill Paxton.
called The Colony, which was a sort of horror sci-fi malarkey.
Yeah.
And I'm here with a regular co-host, Mr. James or J.A. Wallace.
James is fine.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. It's marvellous to be with you in the diner.
It's a thrilling pleasure, you Shalhoub hating
I don't look. Let's just clear something. I don't hate Shalhoub. There are people. No, listen. There are people in the world who are obviously worth hating.
Right.
Well, they're not that many, but Rupert Murdoch, for example.
Miley Cyrus.
I don't hate Miley Cyrus.
That we've got to.
I don't. She's like an inevitable product of the system. Murdoch made the system.
I quite like that, an inevitable product of the system.
She is.
You're almost
At some point, I was going to
describing
go. If I take my clothes off enough, people will give me money.
You're describing her like trans fat or something. She's just a byproduct
Miley
of what
Cyrus is trans
happened.
fat.
What happened?
But Rupert Murdoch is the thing that makes Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, it's kind of
Wrinkly old men who just want to stuff their pockets with more money.
Yeah.
Make Miley Cyrus.
I like the idea. You remember those? I don't know if you ever remember the adverts when we were growing up of like you could get like a plasticine playhouse or whatever, and you would put Play-Doh into something, press the thing, and it would like squeeze out different pasta shapes or whatever.
Yeah.
So you could have it square or you get whatever, and it came out like spaghetti.
That's one of those
or whatever.
Christmas presents that would get old really fast.
Yeah, of course, because all the plastic would get like stuck in the corners and the grooves.
If you just go, I've made the shapes, and that appears to be it for the entertainment.
Yeah, right. And it wasn't even shapes you could do anything with.
No.
Like you just took the shapes and like mashed it back into a
One of
ball.
those things would be worse for the parents because they'd buy it and it would probably cost quite a lot of money, and they would be hoping for like 30, maybe 40 minutes of peace, and they get maybe like 2.
2 minutes.
They go, that cost me 80 quid.
And it would probably stain the carpet
Almost so.
because Play-Doh probably did. But he is like the big hand squeezing down on the plastic Play-Doh thing,
And the Play-Doh is Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, but she's not even the molded Play. She is the unmolded, squeezed out eventual remnants of whatever.
Of whatever you put in there to begin with. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, my point is, Rupert Murdoch, he's worth hating.
Sure.
He's an evil, evil man.
Right. Shalhoub, you just have disdain
I
for.
just don't get. No, it's not that. It's just
a good.
people like talk about him as if he's like really good
Do they though?
and reliable. Yeah.
I've never, ever in the history of my life ever read, heard, or seen anyone sit around.
He's just like one of those actors that keeps cropping up.
Can you show me on the doll where Shalhoub touched you? Anyway, we went to see The Colony.
Yes.
Do you want to explain briefly what The Colony was about?
Yeah, okay. So The Colony was. It's set in a. It's set in a world that would drive like Republicans crazy because it's all about fossil fuels made the world go really warm and then they bug it around.
What's the day after tomorrow? The whole world's frozen.
No, it wasn't actually. It was a bit. To be fair, it was a bit more of a. The world's getting warmer, and so they build these huge weather towers, whatever, to try and monkey with the weather. Basically,
Right.
like let's solve the problem through
Instead of reducing our carbon
In other
emissions,
words,
let's
yeah.
just build more machines that try and do some magical.
I suppose it's
That's what it
supposed to
was.
be. Yeah, no, it was. But
It was basically we had got to that, but rather than like now everyone's talking about you've got to reduce carbon emissions and you've got to do this blah 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 blah. Well, basically we've passed the point of no return, which a lot of scientists already say that we've passed the point of no return. And in this particular world, they passed the point of no return, and the only option they had was to try, like you say, Jimmy rigged the weather. So they built these enormous, great
which
turbines.
only succeeds in making it snow all the time. Like the guy says in narration to no one, it doesn't stop snowing.
Yeah, the very tortured man.
The very tortured man, yeah. So
The most tortured man left on the planet.
So there's a colony
In a world without therapists.
in a world without therapists or razors.
Yeah, tortured boy.
Yeah, plenty of scissors but no razors.
Well, they must have had razors.
So, but let's get through the plot because it's really simple, and then we can
really
start making fun of it. Even though it wasn't too bad. So anyway, the people in this colony who are led by Laurence Fishburne and who's like lieutenant or whatever is Bill Paxton, and they've got a whole good evil thing going on where Laurence Fishburne is really good and everybody loves him, and Bill Paxton's like obviously evil.
Well, Fishburne has designed the rules of this place, right down to even like assisted suicide. When you get ill.
Which was what the whole rules thing seemed to be like. We'll get to why I think it didn't work, and I've got a feeling it's because of those why there were 4 writers on it, and why 2 of them look to have foreign names. But anyway, we'll get to that. Anyway, the point is, so it snows all the time, end of the world, whatever.
But if you
there's
get
like
ill,
50 people in a colony.
if you get ill, that's it.
But that's all like
for you.
Yeah. The point being,
which I never understood.
No, a lot of it doesn't make any sense if you really think about it.
Because I thought what it
flu
was.
started to kill them, which it wouldn't. Like, it just wouldn't happen.
Right.
They were like, oh well, if you get the flu, then you die. So we have to take you out, shoot you in the back of the head before you infect everybody. Okay. I like the idea that there's some like really common disease that, in fact, that perfectly illustrates the problem with the whole movie. Very quickly. I like the idea that there's because you've got nothing, right? Everything's been snowed on, so that takes away like nearly everything except canned food and whatever you can.
But they've managed to get like bees down in a thing. They've got bees making honey. They've got seeds, and they're like
seeds
like taking tomatoes apart.
Yeah, they're sort of stockpiling for a potential, thaw or whatever.
Which, by the way, we do as humans. There are vast reserves of. Oh, thanks.
Oh wow, extra bacon. That's good.
There are vast reserves of seeds and things up in up in Alaska and Canada, underground, frozen.
There you go.
In the event.
Somebody probably read that in a newspaper and decided to write them.
It was on 60 Minutes.
Well, there we go. So, anyway, my point about which is, in my opinion, a larger problem in the movie. I think it's a neat idea that there's some very simple disease that is extremely communicable and is killing them off like slowly.
Right.
Because they wouldn't have any medicine or any kind of sophisticated medicine. If there's nobody down there, there's clearly like a ragtag bunch of people. If there are no doctors, then they really are finished.
One of them had a ginger beard.
You could choose any disease you want that's been like long dead and has somehow bubbled back up. That's
TB.
Fine. Right, TB. That's a good one, right? Something that's really virulent, extremely deadly, but hasn't been seen in ages because of some relatively simple medicines that no longer exist. That's so easy to do. Instead, right, they went, we'll make it flu. Oh, that's so clever because they're cold, yeah, so they probably get flu and then it'll kill them. And no one at that meeting, and this is why, even though there were 4 writers, no one said, how does that work then? How does the disease go from being something that you go at you and feel a bit wobbly for a few days to it just kills you? Right, and why is that? Oh, because it's always snowing. Right, like Eskimos don't just drop dead all the time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right,
people do manage to deal with being cold without, catching flu. It's just my point is, no one has the whole movie. No one speaks up after somebody says, oh, "Wouldn't that be cool?" Right, because quite often the answer is no, that wouldn't make any sense. It would be stupid.
Right.
And that, anyway, so the point being, there's a colony of about 50 people who are running out of food. They're running out of time because they're being whittled down by this disease, which is, that's cool. They get distress call from another colony 7, which looks to be about, even though it's truncated, they seem to be saying it's about 2 days walk away. So through the snow, I don't know how far that would be necessarily.
50 miles?
Yeah, maybe 50 miles.
And there's an old helicopter as a halfway point where they...
Right.
But yeah, so you were eating before, but basically there's colony number 7. No, colony 5.
Colony 5 sends a distress
signal.
So Larry Fishburne and lead bloke and fat face.
You mean, no, wait a minute, we've got to be clear about this. Larry Fishburne, tortured boy, and naive man.
A naive coward.
Who everyone should have listened to in the first place, and then everyone would be alive.
Always listen to the coward.
Right,
in the horror movie. Anyway. So they go over to the other colony, and they find that everybody's been killed by a bunch of people who've been driven mad with hunger to the point where they are eating people.
Right.
And
Kind of a cross between 28 Days Later zombies, 30 Days of Night vampires, and just generally angry cannibals.
there was sort of a touch of Texas Chainsaw Massacre about the way he was chopping up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But also
which I
kind
thought
of
was pretty cool.
Mad Maxy with the dress and stuff as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of influences, which is fine. There's no harm.
What I liked was that even like the mad cannibals had a leader, and he somehow survived when they didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean,
It was a case of they sat in the writers' room. They had a bunch of bits of paper with stuff written on them. They threw them to the wall, and whatever was still stuck at the end, they wrote it down.
I think
That's what it was.
I think
It was such a random hodgepodge of stuff.
it was extremely random, and there were a lot of things that happened, and there were a lot of things that people did. And this is my main problem in the movie. That was written by 4 people, right?
Yeah, your main problem is you only realised at the end that it was written by 4 people. That didn't bother me at all.
No. What bothers me about that is I don't understand why quite a lot of people did and said the things that they did and said. Like, nothing other than Bill Paxton is supposed to be evil, right? He's supposed to be evil. Now, first of all, my big question about this movie is, what the fuck is Paxton doing in this movie?
Right.
What did he read in the script? Because even though this is a low-budget film, it's going to involve me being freezing cold and working in a...
Made in Canada.
Yeah, in Canada. I'll be freezing cold. I'll be working mostly in a factory getting paid bugger all. I don't understand what there is in that script. Laurence Fishburne, I get it. He gets to be all gnomic and heroic.
Except that he's just played Perry White in the latest Superman movie. Surely he doesn't need to be slumming it in Canadian TV movie fame.
But I can see how for him it might have been like 2 or 3 days work, and at least, you know, he's got an interesting part. You know, he's not required to do too much, and he gets to die in a really heroic way, right?
Right.
So I get that. Spoilers, sorry about that. And he dies in a really heroic way, right?
Right.
What's there for Bill Paxton to do? Nothing he does makes any sense. Bloke turns up and says, listen, right, 2 things. One, the reason there's only me, and I'm in really bad shape, is that everybody at the colony, including the 2 people that I went with, have been eaten by madmen, right? Don't worry though, because we've also discovered that there is like a part of the planet that is thawed, and
They've got the weather machine working.
They've got the weather machine working, and they managed to thaw out a patch, and all they need is seeds, which we've got.
We've got seeds.
I
They've got
suggest.
sun, we got seeds.
Right.
I think I see a way out of this.
Right, so let's pack up our stuff and get there before the crazy cannibals come. Bill Paxton goes, even though there's absolutely no reason to argue with this, right? Because why would I? I'm
Well, because
evil.
he would no longer be the leader. He would have to contend with a whole bunch of people vying for the power. He wouldn't be able to shoot people.
Okay,
in
all
the
right,
snow.
maybe. No, because he says, chains him to the bed. He says he's delirious.
Yeah, but that's just an old horror movie trope, man. That's just so that the bad guys can get there and they can have a bit of a face-off in the old...
But there's no. No,
Dude, you were looking at it way too deep.
No. I'm just saying, with someone like that, none of the evil things that he was doing, some of the evil things he was doing made sense, but some of them, like, didn't really. And it bothered me. But not as much as it bothered me. Like, well, why are
And
you
not
in
as much as Shalhoub.
it? Not as much as Shalhoub, no. But seriously, why would he do that? I don't understand what is in it for Paxton to be in that movie. I don't get what he gets out of it.
Oh, why is he in the movie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, must be a reason.
Why was Slater in Stranded?
I mean, they're very good. I mean, they're.
Well, he's obviously desperate for work.
Well, I don't know. Is he that desperate for work that he's in Stranded? The first thing we should say is this has like production value through the roof. It looked really, really, really good.
I did actually. One of the things that was to talk about what was actually good about it, which was quite a lot except for the script. The special effects prove that, like it or not, CGI is going to make, or can, when handled properly, make cheap movies look really, really good. You could have made that movie 15
And it
years
did look
ago.
really, really, really
It
good.
reminded me a lot of Monsters, a low-budget movie where
Right.
it's all about the CGI, and it's really, really good. You know, except the Monsters had like a story.
And also here they didn't try and do anything like really complicated. It was all like
No,
bridges.
it was very simple. I know
It was
that
like
was
bridges and buildings and turbines and stuff where,
cool. That was cool. Yeah.
you know, I mean, the shot of them walking by the turbine was like one CGI swipe away from basically being a really good matte painting.
Yeah.
In the sense that the turbine wasn't moving, there was no need for like a lot of animation, but it just looked really, really,
that's
really
true.
good. Like when you go back to The Thing, and you see them looking at the spaceship in the ice.
Yeah.
That's a matte painting.
Yeah.
But it's just such a beautiful painting. You're like, oh, I like that they filled the frame with that. And
Yeah, that's
what-
true. No, there was a lot like that. There was a lot of nicely composed shots too. There was some like really nicely. Yeah,
Well,
just
the
some
bridge
nice
was
looking
done
things.
really well.
The bridge looked fucking cool. Yeah, it looked really, really good. One of the sorry,
I can only assume they were on a green screen stage in Toronto somewhere.
I guess. But it seemed pretty cheap. I mean,
'Cause
I
it's
realised they
filmed
got
in Ontario.
Fishburne in, and I realised they got Fishburne and Paxton.
Yeah, but they didn't actually go out to a bridge and film that.
No, I guess not.
I mean,
I sort of thought
don't
maybe
know.
they were on a bridge and maybe they just CGI'd all the stuff in after.
Yeah, maybe. Still very well done.
No. It looked really good. The plot was solid. There was no holes in it. Like, they got distressful. They went out there. They had every reason to do it too, which was cool. They'd signed a pact, you know, between the two colonies to help each other out if they got in trouble, which made sense, right? And they got out there, and they've discovered like that they've been attacked and eaten by a bunch of human beings who've gone mad with hunger, which again is perfectly in this world that they've created. Is, you know, that's very possible.
But it was nice the way, like, the reason why I said it was a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks is that it really did have elements of so many things. I don't necessarily mean things that have come before, but like generic tropes you've seen or generic tropes you've read about or whatever. But done very well. But it just had like a bunch of stuff happening. For example, like the cannibals weren't the main plot, but then the Bill Paxton Fishburne face-off was not the main plot either.
No.
And
Yeah, you're right. There doesn't seem
tortured
to-
boy and girlfriend trying to find the son.
They didn't really have a payoff either.
That wasn't really a main plot. Like none of it was a main plot. It was
No,
like
that's true.
it was like 20 B plots all vying for.
Yeah, that's true. What I think the problem. This is what I mean about the four writers. I think
Maybe it was 4 separate stories, and they were like, well, none of these work as one single movie.
listen. I could be wrong, right? Probably am. Let's face it. But
Well, you are about Roger Moore's Sherlock Holmes.
you said last time about pause. No, I didn't say it.
Stop it. Stop it.
I always wanted to have like this.
You said last time about Stranded that maybe they flog these movies to like places in Eastern Europe, for example, right?
They do.
Right. So I'm wondering whether what happened, and one of the reasons why it was the way that it was, and why there are 4 writers, and 2 of them were obviously from another country. One that was called like Sergei Popov or something.
Right. Sir, I pop off, will you?
I wonder whether they don't take a script and then they reduce it to like reduce the level of dialogue. A lot of it was narration, which again you could just dub over, and reduce the dialogue.
By the man, when you looked at him, you went, how much more tortured could he be? And the answer was, none more tortured.
None more tortured. And whether you take all the extraneous dialogue out, and you only have things that can be translated easily and fit the moment. Because there's things that happen that don't make any sense. Like right at the end, when one of the like sea characters the zombies are like coming through the not zombies, the whatever, the evil creatures coming through the door.
Rage cannibals.
Right. Rage cannibals, I like. Well, cannibals do rage.
I like that as well.
In Quebec.
Right.
And
Tonight at the Toronto Film Festival, Cannibals do Rage.
cannibals do rage.
No, it'd be the Montreal Film Festival, wouldn't it?
Yes. Or then Toronto Film Festival, because they're very polite, they probably do it bilingually. Anyway, the zombie comes in and they go, run! You go, sensible plan. Murderous cannibals running towards you. Large cavernous facility of which you know, and could probably get to a door and lock it. Buy yourself some time. And the guy says, no more running. Right? And then, the cannibals come over and he does a big, fighting. That's great. A couple of problems with that. One, why? Why no more running? Running is absolutely the only thing to do.
But he'd lost his son.
My neighbor who works at the National Institute.
He'd lost his son, so he had to be a hero.
All right, I accept that. But I still say, no,
He was out for vengeance.
Well, then my point is no more running. I agree that there's something to be done there with this guy holding them back. Right?
Well, also,
But no more running. But wait.
To be
no
fair,
more running
the
makes no more sense because at no point in the film has he run anywhere. There's been no running from him or anybody else.
Right.
Nobody. It's snow. Right. Nobody can run in the snow anyway. Right. He says no more running. From what and when has there been any running at all?
Sebastian Coe could run in the snow.
A more accurate thing for him to say would be, no, we will not begin running now, right?
Right.
I disagree with your strategy of running for reasons that I will keep to myself.
Yeah. I had no problem with that at all.
No, but I'm just saying.
I think the reason why he said no more running is at the moment, Bill Paxton was stood there with his shotgun, and the moment they actually broke through, he ran away. And I think that the guy who was the father of it, plus we don't know, but he looked kind of leaning mannish, this guy, but had a very C role. I bet he's like some TV star in Quebec or something, and I bet that was meant to be his big hero moment or something.
No, you're completely misunderstanding. I agree with you. The moment is there to be had, right? With this guy, with what's happened to his son, the zombies coming through the door, he needs to buy the people behind him some time. Or the cannibals to Raj. The moment is there to be had, absolutely. Right? What I'm saying is, and this is what I mean about the discrepancy between what's on the page and what's happening on the screen. Right. No more running, the line, doesn't explain that moment. That's what I'm saying. You see what I mean? I felt like there was a lot of that going on.
That's all right.
There was a lot of that going on, whereby what was on the page wasn't explaining what you were seeing on the screen.
I understand.
As if they made the film first and then translated it into Portuguese.
Right. Portuguese?
I'm just thinking of that phrase book, the one where someone who doesn't speak English wrote an English to Portuguese and a Portuguese to English phrase book.
Right.
And it's amazing. Some of
like the Hungarian phrase book in Monty Python.
Yeah, but it's a real thing, and some of the phrases are absolutely. Anyway, I can't remember them, unfortunately. But there's phrases in there. He goes, popular English phrases that this guy's come up with who only speaks Portuguese, and one of them is, "Nothing's some money, nothing of Swiss." That's the phrase, right? And that's kind of what the movie felt like. It felt like
the movie should have been called that.
It felt like they took a script, translated it into Russian by a Russian guy. And then,
I think you've said this before.
And then a Russian guy doesn't speak English, translated it from Russian into English. That's what it felt like. It felt like the moments were all there, and they were supposed to say the lines when they were supposed to say them. And the emotion was right.
No, I think...
Just the lines didn't make any sense.
I think...
Well, that's what I think.
I think this is what happened.
The end of the podcast.
No, I think this is what happened. I think a couple of guys in Canada wrote a movie, right? And I think a couple of guys in Eastern Europe wrote a movie, right? And I think, because there was about 8 or 9 film companies at the beginning of it. Right. And you were like, how do any of these people make any money? I was like, because they're probably shipping this stuff out to, Azerbaijan or wherever, who knows? Anyway.
Lithuanian Moors.
Right, Lithuanian... Chinese shadow puppet theatre. I don't know. Anyway, so
I would pay
I think
money to see the Lithuanian Shadow Puppet
theatre
Theatre's
reenact
production of this.
I think it would have been awesome.
It would have been brilliant.
It would have been great. They would have had balalaikas and everything. Do they have balalaikas in Lithuania? Anyway,
Probably.
probably. Anyway, and I think these film companies were like, oh, there's these little film companies in Canada like churning out fucking Stranded or whatever. And then there's these like film companies in Bulgaria and Romania churning out, you know, Whoops Cusack or whatever the latest Cusack movie, or the latest Nick Cage fiasco, right? And they probably said, you know what, we could do something with a bigger budget and a bit more like exciting stuff going on if we just join forces. And I think the two studio heads came together and went, wow, we've got this movie about like post-apocalyptic wasteland after the snow or whatever, and them looking for the sun and blah 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 blah. And then this other guy goes, oh, I've got this movie called Cannibals to Rush, and they just kind of fitted it together piecemeal. I think that's exactly what happened. I think that's closer to your idea that some weird
No. I think there's a script.
translation where someone in Portugal went, I should translate this movie. Even though I have no concept of what's going on.
I tell you in which case then, I'll tell you what I think what it really is. It's not two films mashed together, because the film itself, as a whole, stands up really well.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
What part of it doesn't make sense?
The film itself, like I said earlier, is like 15 B plots.
No, I get that.
There's no like one A plot.
No, I agree. But see, I think
We were meant to be invested in Tortured Boy and his implausibly attractive and perfectly haired blonde waif of a partner.
Ow. Keep biting the same spot with it. I think
Probably Shalhoub.
yeah.
You shall name that
The
sore.
curse of Shalhoub.
You shall name the sore on your lip, Shalhoub. Anyway, carry on.
I think it's far more likely. Forget my translation thing, although it's pretty accurate.
No, it's not accurate at all.
I think what you've got is, I think you're right about the different films.
I think if they walked around talking in like pidgin English, you might have a point. But all the sentences made sense.
No, but they didn't really.
They didn't walk around going, I shall be going to the car park.
No more running.
I think you're looking at a script that had notes from 3 different production houses in 3 different countries. That's why it sounds the way that it does.
I think a bunch of people got together because they wanted to make a slightly bigger budget movie. And this was the
No, I agree with you. I agree with that part of it, absolutely. But I think that the reason the script sounds the way that it does is because...
Look, I've said this before as well. Every year there's this like 10 movies that haven't been produced blacklist thing, right?
Right.
And occasionally one like ekes out like a bad smell. And they're normally horrendously bad. You're like, well, and these are like the top 10 of unproduced screenplays, of which there are apparently millions, right? So like, what you have to understand is if Hollywood has like the million scripts, right, and they produce, let's say,
I would love some more coffee. Thank you very much. Yeah.
they produce, let's say, 300 of them or whatever in a year, or what, I don't know how many movies come out in a year, but 250, 300, whatever it is, movies that come out in a year, they produce them. Then there's like the next top 10, and they're normally shash, right?
Shashmongering.
Then there's the other ones that they keep in the basement to be like topped up by L script Doctorino that they keep in.
I wonder if Batman fills up his car with bat petrol.
Right? And then all the other scripts that are out there
Right.
wash up onto the shore of Canadian and Bulgarian film companies. Bearing all that in mind, right, I'm telling you, based on the fact that this was like 4 or 5 B plots thrown together in a hodgepodge of post-apocalyptic okayness, right?
So, be on the DVD cover.
A post-apocalyptic hodgepodge of okayness, right? I think this was like their top 2 or 3 scripts that they got that were all within the same kind of ballpark of like zombie, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic.
But the zombies...
And I think they put it together because the zombies are in effectively 2 scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah, but so's Bill
And then there's Paxton versus.
Fishburne, which doesn't. No, none of the problem is because I think you're right.
Then there was Tortured Boy, who had this whole backstory about his mother that nobody gave a
And that
heck
never went.
about.
Yeah, see, but there's lots of things like that, right?
I'm telling you, dude, this came from lots of different scripts.
Well, okay, possibly, but you're right. And that whole thing with he has a dream about like his mum, right?
Fucking dreams.
Fucking dreams, he says.
That was amazing. He was like, no, I have to go into the bathroom to be tortured.
Yeah.
Come back to bed. No, I must look into this dingy mirror and be more.
By the way, you will be relieved to know that after the apocalypse, they do have lots of toothpaste.
Yeah.
So do not worry about that. Because you're thinking, I don't want to see this film because what if their teeth aren't bright, shining white?
Right.
Don't worry about that.
Also,
Do not worry about that.
if you're a really, really, really attractive blonde,
Yeah.
well, not really attractive, but if you're the only like attractive blonde in the underground thing, when you get hit in the face by a butt of a rifle, it will only leave a slight purplish mark somewhere hidden under your hairline.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It won't break your nose, give you a black eye, nothing like that.
They won't even
It's
like
just
dent
like-
her makeup. I can only assume that her makeup is like fucking bulletproof.
I think it was. I think-
That was a weird choice. She was a weird choice because she was just like bland as anything.
Right.
And also,
But she thought she was like she thought she was nipping on
But it was so
Mila
weird
Jovovich's heel.
because it's like, why hire her? She's not like she's not terribly attractive, right? She's not a very good actress. And the only way you can make her look like as if she should be like the female lead of this movie is by caking makeup on her face, which presumably would be a little bit difficult to come by.
And giving her
Come the
weird, like,
apocalypse.
knotty dread hair.
And she's got this big fucking room full of stuff, and it's like, but there's nothing. It all leads nowhere. You're right. None of it leads anywhere. His dream with his mum, there's no payoff for that at all. He doesn't rescue anybody from the snow.
But what it tells us is that he's unbelievably tortured.
It does.
And in fact,
But
the
it
movie,
does. But it's weird because in the end,
the movie comes down to a torture-off.
if you
Who
were
is more
who's
tortured?
more tortured, Fishburne or him?
No, who's more tortured, the cannibal guy or him?
There was a kind of a cool. I wonder if the thing with his mum, the story with his mum, which essentially he led his mum and sister out into the snow looking for a better life.
Because women can't make up their own minds what to do.
Yeah, that's right. He was like, Fishburne says to him, "Don't worry, son, you did the best you could. You were just a boy." Instead of saying, if your mum had a lick of fucking sense, she might have made up her own mind instead of going, "Oh well, you're the closest thing there is to a man around here, so I better do what you say," which is apparently what everybody's going along with.
I think you should write, like, someone should give you Hollywood scripts, and then you should write like the gym version of it. So that you maintain the bit where the guy like tells this very moving story about his mum dying in the snow, and then it comes to Fishburne's character. Fishburne, listen, you little shit.
But seriously, because his whole attitude is, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. I'm the one that told him to go out into the snow.
I'm the most
As
tortured
if like,
man in the
as if her
apocalypse.
mum's like, his mum has got like, you know, because
No sense.
Yeah, and Fishburne's response, well, you were just a boy. You did the best you could. As opposed to, just shut the fuck up and ask your mum.
Right.
She's still your mum.
Well-
You were 12. Just because it's the end of the world doesn't mean your mum stops knowing what to do. My mum would know what to do at the end of the world. Granted, most of it would be sitting around complaining, but it would definitely be a plan.
Or cuddling a sheep.
Or cuddling. It just makes my mum sound weird. Well, that would probably be really effective because you can cuddle and eat it. Anyway.
You could say.
You're right. But anyway, I was wondering whether that whole story wasn't supposed to be, at the end of the movie, him doing the same thing. Leading them all out into the snow to die.
Right.
Because that place is a long way away, presumably.
We don't know. What I like as well is that she had been looking for the gap in the clouds for ages. Like, there was never fully explained how long they'd been down there, but he was found as a boy and now he was in his, mid-20s? When are you at your most tortured nowadays? Probably in the 20s, right? I think 20s is peak tortured time now.
I'd say mid to late 20s.
Yeah. I think he'd probably been tortured since his teens.
I would say so, yeah.
He had some heavy... In fact, he barely made it back to the camp when he came back because of all the extra torture he had from watching Fishburne
He had
die.
so much torture when he got back, he could barely stand.
He could barely stand. They had to sedate. They had to sedate
very
him
much.
because of the excessive torture he was feeling.
They had to handcuff him to a bed in case, thank you very much.
In case he got so
In
tortured
case they
that he.
caught his torture. Bill Paxton's like, well, this is what we're going to do. Oh, I'm so
So depressed. Oh no, his torture is contagious.
Nothing Paxton did. I still don't get why he signed up. Nothing he did made any sense.
Fishburne and him probably owes the director a bet or something.
No, because you can tell the director spent the whole movie going, that was brilliant. Oh, Larry, oh, it's so great. That was terrific. Oh, Bill, you're so, And that's fine, but...
Fishburne probably living... The other thing that struck me instantly is as much as I like
Fishburne likes turning up a ruse and being known.
why would you hire Fishburne when he's like 50 pounds overweight? And if you're meant to be in the apocalypse living off like...
Dude, if I was making a
tomatoes.
movie set in an apocalyptic wasteland involving hunger-crazed killers, I would definitely hire Fishburne. If Fishburne came within half a mile of me, I'd be screaming at him, please be in my movie.
True.
Why wouldn't you want Fishburne in your movie? He's fucking awesome.
No, he is awesome. He is awesome. In fact, Paxton was the one that was really disappointed.
He was, and he should be... And
Because his
if I
thing
were
was...
Paxton, I'd be like, you know what? Your movie is a piddly little made in Canada horror film. I demand a better written part than this.
Right. Let me write my own part.
He could not have done it. It was just...
I wouldn't have minded if he'd just gone around recycling lines from his previous movies. If at the beginning...
Everybody would have enjoyed a Game Over Man.
Yeah.
No?
If he just was like...
That's great when he put her in charge. That would have worked.
Yeah. In fact, that was the other thing, was that Fishburne left and was like, Ty's in charge. I don't know who that was.
No, I didn't.
Who was that
I
person
thought that
who
was Bill
left
Paxton.
in charge?
Oh, the woman.
No.
Blondie. Yeah, Blondie.
That was the woman. She was left in charge.
She was left in charge.
The woman who's been protecting her coat more than other people.
Yeah, she's been... The reason she was left in charge is she's the one who's had the most lines.
Okay. Right.
But even when he said, Ty's in charge, I was like, oh, he's left Paxton in charge. Oh, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, no, that isn't... Oh, that's not Paxton.
No.
Okay.
No. It's very odd.
Yeah.
Very
But it was,
odd.
it had...
I feel like we've done it a disservice though, because it is a fun flick.
It was really
like
fun.
if it was on,
extremely well put together.
if it goes to Netflix.
I recommend learning Lithuanian,
No.
watching it in Lithuanian, and you'll probably have a blast.
No, I think you need to stop with the whole translation conspiracy that you're
I'm telling
on.
you, it makes sense in Lithuanian.
Stop it. It's a completely ludicrous script.
It's not completely ludicrous.
No, it is fairly. I mean,
It's odd. It's very odd.
I loved the way it looked.
It looked great,
And I
the
liked
acting was good. He was.
most of the
I was
acting.
expecting to hate him, and he was perfectly fine.
Right, he got better as the movie went on.
Yeah.
The gore effects are nice.
Yeah.
The fights aren't bad.
There were some nice gory bits, yeah. I wasn't very keen on the fights.
Well, it had that. It wasn't that it had the shaky cam problem. It had the cheap digital camera strobe problem.
Oh, that's what that was. Yeah.
Because I was watching the fights and I was thinking, wait a minute, I can't really see what's going on. Is the camera moving? And I was looking at the edge of the frame and I was like, the camera's not moving. It's that digital strobe thing.
What's the digital strobe thing?
Because like high def digital cameras are so like crisp and clear and like high. It's like turning the definition high up on like a Photoshop or whatever. When you start having people being flung about and moving very quickly, you get that thing like where if you wave like a solid line or a solid pencil or whatever, it like starts to break up and become all like that. That's what you get with like, because the lines are so crisp that when it moves very quickly, your eyes can't keep up. When the camera's back a bit, or when the fights are slower, or when it's not so crisp in focus but more. I think it can be improved with the lighting. I think maybe it's like the low lighting and the crispness put together is probably...
Yeah, because there were times when Larry Fishburne was fighting one of the...
Plus, they're all the same colour.
monsters.
Like
Yeah.
everything's the
I couldn't
same
tell who
colour
was
and
who.
everything. Right, but
I
it's
could not tell who was who.
It's to do with the crispness. You get a strobe because it's like waving a. It's like doing this. You get like a. There's a like a dark line strobe thing.
So that's the one having a fight.
But apart from, I mean, at least he kept the camera still. And there was one bit during the Fishburne fight that was cool, where he like brought the camera way back, and you could see them. Like,
That was
fighting
cool. I
on the
did
thing.
like that. Yeah, there's a few shots like that in there that you.
Some of the dolly
Sometimes
shots,
in the-
like in the tunnels. were
Yeah,
really
that was
good.
cool. Yeah, when they came down the bridge, that was cool. There was a really
The
cool
whole-
shot when
the
they
whole-
found the guy.
The whole opening montage.
Pull back,
with-
and the three of them are kind of like leaning over him. It looked like an old painting.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I
I really liked him. I liked the guy they found who was like, they called up Santa Claus, get me frightened old man, number 2. He came in.
Get me the most anorexic nasal person
But he
you
was
can
good.
find.
He was good. Shall we talk about your guest appearance in this movie?
No, I wasn't a guest appearance.
You were in this movie. I didn't make a joke of it like after. It's like, oh, that guy looked a bit like you. The camera comes down to this guy that's like, just as
Who
the
was
bosses are
in
attacking.
the earlier part
Well,
of
I
the
didn't
movie
see him
as
in
well?
the part of it. All I know is the camera came down and it came up close, and I said out loud, "It's you." There was this guy who looked. He had this huge, long ginger beard, big nose, and a scared look on his face. It looked just like you. It looked just like you.
Thank you,
It was
sir.
spooky.
It
It was
was-
mostly the beard.
It was mostly the bit. Although I still claim that my moustache is better than his.
Anyway, if you ever see this film, there will be a moment when you will see Crossing.
No.
Yeah, you will.
You'll see generic ginger hippie keeper of the lentils number 3.
Well,
They went.
you should
"Get
put a call
me-"
into Central Castle.
They went-
And you
they
could be
went-
that guy number 2.
They went, get me a guy who looks
Maybe
like
in the
he's-
Colony 2, they'll get you. They'll get you in.
Yeah, maybe. They said, get me a ginger guy who looks like he's lived on a commune, like hoeing fucking corn with his.
They seem pretty confident. I wonder whether the reason, probably not, maybe, I'm wondering whether the reason that Paxton and Fishburne are in it is it's not, because it's also like an hour and a half, whether it's not like more of a TV pilot.
No.
It's not enough. It's not.
I'm telling you, dude, it's like someone in.
No, but the way that it ended was very. And the more I think about actually what they were saying with the ending, I think it was pretty cool.
No, I think someone was like, how do we capitalize on the whole, like, panic of the environment, cross with The Walking Dead, cross with vampires, cross with everything, and they came up with this movie. It's literally like you fed
Yeah,
what
that's
is
great.
popular at the moment into a machine that spits out.
Bill
Like-
Paxton. And he's going, what am I doing here? I don't belong in a what is popular right now machine.
But it was literally
Maybe
that.
20 years ago.
It
Not
was
now.
it was literally that. I mean, apart from like the
Can I tell my Bill Paxton fact now, which is so really
go on,
unbelievably
tell the
boring.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton is the only actor to be killed by a predator, an alien, and a Terminator. There you go. That's my Bill Paxton fact. It's over now. It's gone.
It's very cool.
But it is quite a cool fact.
It is. Well, he's been around a bit.
He has. He has. Old Bill.
I would have to say Bill Paxton is probably the only person to have ever appeared as a giant snot monster in a movie with Kelly LeBrock. I'm just like
What movie was that?
that Weird Science.
I don't remember him being a giant snot monster.
They turn him into a giant like ball of filth essentially with arms and like
they?
a large toad type thing.
What did he do to deserve that?
Just be an obnoxious belching older brother.
Wow, I got lucky, didn't I? If you and John had discovered the secret to Weird
If we
Science,
put
that's
bras,
how I would have
bras
ended
on
up.
our head and resurrected Kelly LeBrock from
I'm sure the
Steven
thought crossed your
Seagal
mind.
abyss.
I'm sure the thought had crossed your mind.
She's apparently writing a tell-all book now because that's exactly what the world wants, is a tell-all book about how mental Steven Seagal is.
Well, you want that book, certainly.
I know how mental Steven
Yeah, but you
Seagal
want to
is.
read details.
It's like, what can she
You want to read.
What can she possibly
Seagal
say?
won't drink a cup of coffee, right? Unless a rare African monkey is shitting. every
in a
morning, Seagal's butler has to stick a cup underneath a monkey's bum and like tickle it in a special place. Seagal will not drink the
Seagal's
coffee.
butler. I love that. I would love to be
Seagal's butler. His
butler.
fate is always to be eaten.
He pushes him in front of the marauding
Eventually,
hordes.
like, if, right, by accident, they happen to get their arm in the way while they're serving Seagal his food, and then they get their arm out of the way quickly enough, he will start eating them, and he won't stop.
I like to believe that Seagal has a butler because the marauding hordes in his mind that are coming at him and attacking him, he pushes his butler in front
He needs the
of.
butler, because he can't run fast enough.
No.
There's no way Seagal could
I
outrun.
don't need to run, Johnny. I got the flappy hands. But she's writing a tell-all book. But there is nothing in the book that is going to be more ludicrous than he's been suspected of sex trafficking. He ran over a puppy with an armored car. car while breaking up a cockfighting ring. He's good friends with Vladimir Putin, and he wrote a blues song called "Tell It to My Ass." You can't, like, once you know this. Oh, and he seriously believes he has Seagal vision that's able to spot a perp at 17 feet. So when you know these things like are already out there in the world, what could she possibly
I thought
say?
we're straying slightly from the movie. Is that because we don't have anything else to say about it? I'm just
No,
trying to think.
I would give this movie, in terms of B-movie-ness, I would give it 3.5 out of 5 because it had a good, solid B-movie quality to it. It wasn't.
I think I'd give it. You know, when
It wasn't a classic.
You know on Netflix when you get those 3 stars, and then after a while, after like 10 or 15 seconds, like a little bit of the star disappears.
Yeah.
That's what I would give it. I would give it a little bit less than 3 stars, ever so slightly, because it's one of those movies that, even though I did really enjoy watching it, it was a fun experience.
I think when it's on Netflix, people should watch it.
You could definitely do worse. Although I was disappointed by like how pointless Paxton's character was. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're hung up
He
on
may as well.
Paxton.
No, he may as well have been a grumpy bear. Do you know what I mean? Because all he did was run around and be grumpy and getting
He's
people's
like,
way.
I'm evil. I'm shooting your wife in the face.
No, but all he really did was be grumpy and get in people's way. He might as well have been like Grandad or something. Do you know what I mean? I ain't no leaving no factory for nobody.
But then he ran away.
He did run away.
The bit
Nothing he did that made any sense.
Nothing he did make any sense because at the very end, as the guy's escaping into the air duct, he kicks Paxton his gun,
And Paxton makes to shoot him.
and Paxton makes to shoot him. Like, Paxton is so evil and so angry, he's blinded by sweaty
But that's what I
anger.
mean. Like there were so many things in the script.
I think
there's so
someone
many
sat down.
things in the script that are the product of people going, wouldn't it be? And then what will happen is this. And you know what it's like. You've been in those meetings where someone goes, yeah, and then it'd be cool if this happened, and then everyone goes, yeah, that'd be great, and you're the one sitting there going, but that doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. That's all of the meetings for the script.
Right.
I needed someone to say that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
But you see,
Or just, you know what, have Bill Paxton in the meeting go, can't I do one heroic thing? Like maybe at the end, can I do something a little bit heroic?
I think-
Can I save a puppy?
I think while I agree with you, and while I would like to say that we could live in a world where, you know, the level of important script doctoring would go on in these, like, that needs to go on in these low budget arenas. We don't live in that world, and ultimately the B movies that are coming out at the moment are for both the Netflix streaming crowd and people in Bulgaria who the only other thing they've ever watched is brown paint drying and like Grey Car Weekly or whatever
And
it
the
is that
bottom
they
of
have.
Seagal's boot.
Yeah,
hurtling
and
towards
Seagal
them.
movies, right,
Yeah.
right, and Seagal movies.
No, actually Seagal's boot hurtling towards them as they are oppressed.
Oh,
he's
right.
he's going to become the president of a star somewhere.
You reckon?
Definitely. At some point, he is going to become.
I think he
mad
should become
president.
like president of like Mesopotamia or something like that. That'd be amazing.
Isn't that like a rock? But anyway, so I thought it was pretty good. We saw the same cinema that we saw the other one.
Yeah, I
not
think-
at the top.
I think my problem was the waste of Paxton. That was my only problem with the movie.
But
That and the voiceover, which really can go kill itself because it was the most pointless.
It was. I was
irrelevant.
thinking about it after like the first. You know what? You don't.
And it was
None of this is important. We obviously get there's been some kind of environmental.
It was
catastrophe.
read in that kind of cod epic way, like, and then the snows came, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You mean it started snowing?
Who are you talking to? Because, like, if you're in the bathroom right now talking into a toothbrush, you know what I mean? Imagine doing the voiceover for your own
No,
life.
it's one of his.
And you're a fucking
It's one of
lunatic.
his fucking dreams, man.
But seriously, do
Him
people
looking in the
actually
mirror.
dream about the traumatic events that happen?
No.
They don't, right?
Him looking at most people dream about top.
They dream of like representations of that trauma. That might be more interesting. You know what I mean? Like, he goes to the fridge and he opens it up and his mum's dead! Oh,
Or he opens the fridge and Paxton's face is just like floating in the
Paxton's face
fridge,
going,
going,
ooh, you better watch out for me. I'm unpredictable.
"You shouldn't have eaten cake."
It was weird. There were so many things that were set up and not answered. Like,
Yeah.
Fishburne talked about how, you know,
it was a
Paxton
good
used to
movie.
be in his... Yeah, but Paxton used to be with him in the army and they had to leave the
And it
place
didn't-
for, like, unspecified reasons. So there is something about Paxton that is heroic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And is that going to come out at some point?
No.
But it didn't. Like,
No.
there wasn't anything for him to lose or gain.
They
It was odd.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand all that. He was like, we were in a stadium, there were lots of people.
They didn't really have a good enough answer.
The people who had guns took everything off the people who didn't have guns. And then when there was nothing left to take, they invited them all upstairs and shot them in the head. And then they went feral, like wild dogs. And I was like, what are you talking? Like, that's never happened in the history of the world ever. Even in the Third Reich, when people did like take people into rooms and shoot them in the face, like they didn't suddenly become like rabid, crazy human beings.
What was all like
made up?
We tried to stop it, but we couldn't. Your story began with the people with guns, right, took things from people without guns. Well, you had guns.
Right.
So that was the time.
Right.
You know? But you made it sound like they were just kind of stood there going, well, we're going to do anything about it.
Yeah. They were stood up in...
Then what are you there for? They were
stood in the bleachers and the people in the boxes were getting shot.
They had a big space on that notice board you're talking about that said, harrowing story goes here.
Yeah.
And then they were like, listen, Larry needs the script because he's got to fuck off back to LA tomorrow.
To do more...
stadium, importance, you know, it was enough. There were loads of dead ends. It was odd. There were loads of dead ends.
Well, I mean...
that's why that
Tortured Boy's story was, we were in a place, we ran out of food, we went out into the snow, Mum died. That's the story.
And then we got separated, and my mum, you know, cocked it. But he didn't seem to learn anything from that experience particularly.
No, he didn't need to.
He probably lost a bit of sleep.
I think he learned how to be more tortured. I think.
That's why part of me wonders, like, whether it's not like it wasn't supposed to be a TV party, like, with all these like unresolved threats.
It's meant to be like The Walking Dead, but in the future after the snow. Yeah.
But then they've only got one. Oh yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
We'll take the check when
we will take the check. Thank you very much. Because I'm sure the listeners will be relieved to hear.
Yeah.
Because anyway, we're done. I can't really think of anything else.
No, I'm saying it's coming off the back of the Walking Dead phase, and I think that if you see it on Netflix and or Hulu and or some streaming thing, or if it's on like late night on
you could do worse.
HBO or whatever, you should watch it.
But it is.
You could do worse because you could cast Shalhoub in a post-apocalyptic world where the thing is they've got to go out and find all the fish.
He's going to wander on and like shrug. People go, oh, isn't he likeable? He hasn't done anything. He might as well be a plant.
That made me laugh when we went into the bathroom after the movie, and he was like, and that woman in the film might as well have been a lamp.
And she got a lamp with a hat on. It's like such a weird piece of casting. We've got to get her. She's electric on camera. No, she's not. Well, she is staggeringly beautiful. No, she's not that either. So why cast her? Even in Canada, I bet you could throw a rock out of the window and hit a better actress than her.
Right. Let's just split it.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, I give it slightly under 3 stars. If you don't have... The problem with it is exactly like...
I think you're just being miserable.
No, I'm agreeing.
Under 3 stars,
I'm agreeing with you.
On a B-movie scale, would be Stranded.
No.
Yes.
Stranded is 2 stars.
No. Stranded was entertaining.
In what sense?
You haven't seen some really bad B-movies, clearly.
I have. Well, I guess I stopped watching them. That's the difference between you and me, is I do stop watching things that are really obviously terrible.
Well, except these movies that you're taking us to. The next one that we're going to be doing is Dracula
3D. We're quite looking forward to that.
With Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, we're going to go see that at the IFC Centre, which I will be able to pay for your ticket because I don't have to pay.
Nice, and the Waverley Diner is near there, and that's voted one of the top 10 diners in all of New York.
Awesome. Well, I'm just quite looking for. I've never been a big Argento fan, but possibly I just got turned off when I was at the same age that I thought Howling 5 was good.
Yeah.
I thought something Argento did was bad, so I'm prepared to believe that.
I've also learned that they're like. At a point in time, there was an Argento film, in other words, you know, like a Hitchcock film or like a Romero movie or whatever. But now, you know, the only thing you can guarantee is that it'll have slightly creepy sexuality and lots of gore. And probably really bad production values.
I just really want to see Rutger Hauer as Van Helsing.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
And 3D is crap, so I don't mind seeing crap films in 3D.
I've never seen a truly crap film in 3D.
So there we go.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I haven't seen a truly crap. Wait. Have I? Have you seen a 3D platform in 3D? Yes, of course. Avatar.
Oh, I blocked that out of my mind.
Yes, it's best not to think about it.
Yeah, Avatar is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Cameron?
Aliens, Terminator, and then nothing.
Well, True Lies. What are you looking at me like that for?
It's fine.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong, it's fine, but Aliens and Terminator are like seriously good movies. True Lies is not a seriously good
True
movie.
Lies is too long by about 20 minutes, but apart from that, it's
No, it's fine. It's perfectly good, like, you know, entertainment, and it's, you know, it's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith about it. It's perfectly.
No, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was abysmal.
Yeah, it's a shame. Because I do like Lyman. I think Lyman makes good movies, generally speaking.
Yeah. But what else did Cameron do that was okay? Well, Dory really likes The Abyss. I can't say I ever gave a shit.
Yeah, this is okay, I guess.
At least he was giving Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio work.
She's not bad. I don't mind
Whatever
her.
happened to her?
She's in. She was in one of the Law and Orders. For a
Did
while.
she like win a Scrabble competition?
No, she was in Law and Order.
Law and Order Mastrantonio.
Yeah. Law and Order.
Law and Order the Mastrantonio. Yes.
Law and Order Special Hair Unit. Dum Dum Barbers, 37th Street.
I think they should have.
Dum Dum.
Supercuts.
Hey, we are in. When are you gonna go take that nephew of yours to go see a ball game? Well, oh my God, it's a guy whose hair's been sold. Dum Dum.
You watch too much Law and Order, clearly. I quite like Mastrantonio's special SHU. Law and Order SHU. Special hair unit. Mastrantonio.
Richard Belzer would have to be in it because he's in fucking everything.
Well, Belzer's played the same Munch character in everything.
He has,
from
isn't he?
Homicide
Yeah.
to...
He was in X-Files as well.
Because there was a Homicide Law and Order crossover quite a lot. Yaphet Kotto showed up in a Law and Order as his captain role.
Yeah, because it was the same universe. I think they were trying to kind of get people who watch Law and Order, because there were loads of them, to watch Homicide.
But it doesn't make any sense because one's set in New York and one's set in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Well, they all get in a...
I'm guessing it's possible occasionally for two police forces. It's not like one was from like 1950s Shanghai and the other one was from 1980s Baltimore. I mean, how do these all go together? Well, there's a time portal.
just underneath Melissa Leo's desk.
Hey, don't let the new guy step in the Shanghai portal.
I quite like the idea though that the Homicide team got in a coach and went on like a Charabang booze cruise trip up to New York City, only to get there and it'd be like dun dun at the border of New York City. There's been moiders.
Like, the scene's only lost 2.5 minutes. That's just how it works in Law and Order town. Dum dum. Quick, we've only got 2.5 minutes to get the plot out.
until the dun dun alarm goes
You're a
off.
first suspect. We'll immediately dismiss you because of a seemingly airtight alibi, but later on it'll turn out that you did it.
Yeah,
Did you see the episode of Community, which was like Law and Order?
I did. It was about the last good episode of Community they wrote.
I think that's probably true.
The rest of the episodes of Community of that series seem to just be having a go at Chevy Chase.
Oh, they're based on the phone, right?
Okay, yeah. No.
Oh, right. So what's the tip? What's that say? I can't read.
What do you mean, what's the tip? We pay the tip when we get up. We write it on the little check thing. Thank you very much for
I really enjoy it,
in the
and
afternoon
I
diner.
really enjoy going to see these like proper B movies in the cinema with you, and then coming to a really nice diner afterwards.
Me too. And that's me and Tony Shalhoub in the Red Flame.
Good
Tower.
night, Shanghai.
In Goodnight Shanghai Portal. Right. Like the show? Well, you can find our complete podcast archive over at amdpodcast.blogspot.com or aftermoviediner.com. You can send us an email at aftermoviediner@gmail.com, tweet us at aftermoviediner, or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/aftermoviediner. Or why not be a part of the show and leave us a voicemail over at speakpipe.com/aftermoviediner. You can also support the show a number of ways, by spreading the word to family, friends and co-workers, by writing us a review over at iTunes or TalkShoe, by purchasing some excellent diner merchandise over at cafepress.com/aftermoviediner, by donating on our website, by advertising with our website, or maybe you're a regular Amazon user. If so, then before you make a purchase, go to amdpodcast.blogspot.com, aftermoviediner.blogspot.com, or aftermoviediner.com and click through the Amazon banner ads. It costs you nothing extra, but they throw us a few coins for the trouble. Or, like the movies we cover, then buy them over at our personal Amazon store, also on amdpodcast.blogspot.com. Really, thanks everybody for everything you continue to do, and please keep listening.
There are men, and then there are second unit podcast men. The podcast you've just been listening to is part of the Second Unit Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at 2upn.blogspot.com or on Facebook under the Second Unit Podcast Network. Our fantastic list of shows include Drunk on VHS, We Came from the Basement, No Budget Nightmares, The After Movie Diner, Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid, and Bloodbaths and Boomsticks. Take one podcast into the shower. Don't be a blithering idiot, Alan. We can give you the multiple podcast cleansing system all in one place that your hair deserves. Our programming is available across all platforms, from iTunes to Podomatic, TalkShoe to Stitcher, so you have absolutely no excuse. Listen today, and a free naked person of your choice will be shipped from Thailand to your door in a matter of weeks. The Second Unit Podcast Network, bringing you the action and leaving the boring stuff to the other guys. Bloody hell. Who does a girl have to blow around here to get a decent beverage?